Hello and welcome to Season 4, Episode 8 of Supercoach Swordplay. Janath, what's going? You've done it again.
I've had a mare. Sorry, I'm filling in for the spiritual leader DR here with the technical stuff, and I forgot to click record twice now.
Twice in a row. This is our third take at it. Oh, it's tough. See, all the stuff
it's just
that
the intro.
DR does behind the scenes, all the stuff that DR does behind the scenes just doesn't get recognised enough. But Janath, mate, first ever podcast we've done just with us two. DR obviously absent tonight. I've had a couple of absentees, so have yourself, obviously going overseas. Mate. But poor DR, he's as sick as a dog. We saw his voice message in the chat, and yeah, the poor bastard, he just can't catch a break, mate. And yeah, poor River as well. We really hope the best for he and his family. So yeah, I think the support's been really good for DR, and I think everyone will forgive him for all the work that he does behind the scenes, mate. The stock markets, he stays up late, editing videos all the time, and he's got the commitment that I don't even have. So yeah, got to respect him for that one. But Janath, mate, it's just us. We're here to hold the fort, and we'll get through it together. Before we get into it, mate, how are you traveling, man? It's good to be back myself. Obviously, mate, last week was an absolute howler. It was one of the worst days I've ever had. Just so busy. By the time I'd showered and had dinner, it was 8:30, and you guys already started. It was just impossible. But yeah, we're all good now, and yeah, great to be back. But how are you, brother? How's things going?
Yeah, doing well, mate. Oh, honestly, with you two boys, I just feel so sorry for. Just one with what DR's just been going through the last couple of weeks, just been an absolute roller coaster. Even as sort of a close friend, just being able to just being there just to help him out is just something I take really great pride in. And same with you, Spills, as well. We got sort of like a brotherhood here, where we have
mate.
that sort of blood. We're sort of like brothers by heart, sort of thing. But not doing well otherwise. Oh, it's been at Carlton Collingwood last Friday. It was probably one of the most. I won't say the most depressing, but it was probably one of the most disappointing and depressing games I've been at. Just the fact is, it was just one of those games where you just Collingwood were always going to come. We hit 100K members throughout the week, and you're like, oh, here we go. We just got to have a big game to celebrate it. And what do you know? It's a flat tire at the end of the week. So, anyways, that complaint is the least of the complaints we should be talking about right here, especially with
what a week
going through. But yeah, I mean, that's it. And how have you been, mate? Everything's all good now?
Yeah, all good. So yeah, for those of you that may not know, I did have a surgery due in September, October. I got a quote from it, and I'd saved up a lot of money to get it done, but I was unaware of the hospital fee. They're going to send me to Melbourne to do it. And I was probably looking at 20-25 grand for a jaw reconstruction. And after a bit of reflection, Janath, I probably realised I'm happy with how things are going.
Yeah.
Excuse me.
Your jaw looks okay, mate.
That's what I'm saying. Like it's not that bad. Like I've always been pretty self-conscious of my teeth, like before I got the braces and everything. But I think if I got the braces taken off and wore a retainer, like with the way I look at the moment, I mean, I'm pretty happy with that. And I don't really need. They say, mate, don't fix something that's not broken.
Don't fix what's not broken.
Yeah, sorry, don't fix what's not broke. So, yeah, like where I put a line through that. So, it was a lot of talking with the orthodontist, the surgery department, trying to get bloody pricing, and on the phone, my dad, my mum, my missus. Like it was just such a hectic night. I was on the phone for about 3 to 4 hours with 2 or 3 different people. It was an absolute horror show. So, yeah, apologies, boys. I couldn't be there last week. I was definitely under the pump, but we are back this week. I'm super excited to get into it, but also a bit nervous as well because, yeah, no DR. So we're going to have to got big shoes to fill, mate. Yeah, he's a cult figure of Supercoach, but we'll get it done for your legend. But a few housekeeping things, Janath. The website, the Good Friday appeal, all this stuff that we've been planning for such a long time is finally taking shape. And Janath, if you want to run me through it a little bit more.
All good, Spill. So as we were mentioning last week, $5 from every beanie we sell on our official website, supercoachswordplay.com. goes directly to the Royal Children's Hospital. And I think especially with what poor River's going through at the moment, I think this is especially a really close cause to our hearts. Obviously, we thought about this before River's instance, but we've already raised $70, so we've sold 14 beanies already. If you do want to get your official beanie, we've got some raving reviews so far. We all enjoy them. 14. We $5 from every beanie. You can see some of we're just going to start our wall of fame here with the great Catta on Twitter, one of our earliest and biggest supporters, I reckon. Absolute legend of a bloke, and just on behalf of the third man up as well, he's just been absolutely helping us out in terms of growth and everything. There at his son's footy game, wearing our beanie. So the support is excellent. That's so good, mate. Just being able to see your brand on someone else.
I know.
It's just so endearing.
Like, we built this. I mean, this is all us, mate. Yeah. Like all this hard work. Particularly yourself with the website. I mean, almost impossible getting that up and running, and like we all played a part. Like DR with the actual logo and printing, Lisa did a cracking job. You with the website, like I designed the logo. It's just an amazing thing, and we've put it all together. Everything that we've done, and Janath, I don't know what's going on. I still haven't got my beanies yet. My mate's been hounding me for one. I don't know.
You'll get it. DR said he will hand deliver as soon as he's fit to leave his home. He is going to hand deliver some to you, mate. So no need to worry about it. The other big shout out. Go on, Spills.
No, I was going to say, particularly with the current circumstances, but he did say that he shipped it up. He posted it, so I don't know what's going on in transit, but yeah, I'll be patient, mate. I'm happy to buff it out, but very excited. Supercoach Wall of Fame too. Loch. Shout out to Loch. Got his own YouTube channel. Give him a subscribe. He's doing some great things, obviously, and a very proud member of the Supercoach Swordplay community as well. So it's good to have him on board.
But it just shows that both of these just to spruik, both these orders were put in early last week, and you got it by the end of the week. So if you're keen to get a beanie, just go to that official website, supercoachswordplay.com. We've still got 5% off, so 5% off store wide. And for members, you guys have your own discount code for 10% off extra as well, which is great. So that's the housekeeping out of the way. A bit to get through this week, obviously, because of the circumstance and the new website. But shall we crack into the round review, Spills?
Absolutely, mate. Let's dabble into the round reviews, and I'll be quick with this one myself, because it wasn't a good week for me, Janath, and doesn't that just that's a reflection of how this season has gone. I think this is my fourth rank. Remember last year when I think it was nearly 10 green arrows in a row.
Green arrows in a row, yeah.
I'm looking at my fourth now in the complete opposite. So 4 red arrows in a row, Janath. I just can't get the season rolling. I don't know what's going on. I feel like I'm trading all right, but look, just a couple of pods let me down. Like, comin on field. He's a super pod, really, as a rookie, and he's scoring me 50s. I mean, butchering my VC on Sheasel when a lot of people were able to VC a Gorn and then fall back on a Sarong. Like, there's just a few 1%ers that didn't really go my way. I bought him Matt Rao for a 66. Dunkley put some real attention into him, and I paid up for it too. I thought I did well there. I looked at the weather forecast, said it was going to be raining, and it did, but not until about 10:30, 11 o'clock at night, when the game was well and truly over. So thanks, Queensland, for that. So, dry conditions up there, perfect conditions for football, and then, very obvious tag. So, that one really hurt, but it's onwards and upwards. Rao's playing in the hopefully sloppy conditions in Darwin this week against North, so hopefully he can cash in. But, mate, 2,127. Not great, really. Yeah, we drop another 400.
I'll tell you what, those Bills. 4 red arrows, but you're gonna back them up with 10 green arrows. That's what's gonna happen, mate.
That's what happened last year. That's what happened last year, mate. I had the worst start ever, and it's a long season too.
No, you did not. That's a lie. DR and I came from the clear. We were ranked in the bloody 80Ks, mate.
We all started terribly, but I wasn't great myself. But then just purple patch, mate. But it's funny because I've been nailing all my captains. I think the lowest captain I had this year before Gorn's 111 was earlier last week, and it was I settled for a 120. I can't remember what it was, but been in great form with the captains. I think my average would be well and truly in the 140. So what's the rest of the team doing, Janath? I don't really know, but we'll move on to someone who's in some great hot form at the moment. Not obviously yourself, but we'll touch on the great DR for a moment. So he's gone 2,228. So yeah, he's ranked at 2.3K, which is a still so long in the season. So yeah, he's a coach. I've got his rapid fire round review. So so last week's trades, he was originally playing on Cadman, Williams, and Powell to Sweet, Sarong, and Dale. Didn't back his gut, got scared off Dale. Sorry. That's the Bevo factor. We've got to take that in consideration. Dale's been a great pick. He's hard to go past this week. I just can't do it. So DR decided to let go of Jack Steele, who went 112, which is death taxes, and then trading out your premium, and then they respond that week. Yeah, it happens every time. Young and Martin for my liking, but so didn't want to stress about his knee, so that was the obvious one. So final trades were Cadman, Williams to Steele, and Sweet, which is pretty stock standard. Sarong and Zeret had 5 sub on field. In bed when the news came through, copped a green injury like many, but own Luke Ryan, which made up for it. I do too, but still absolutely, I could not hit a 2,200 to save my life. So DR, not great, not as bad as me, but both of us nowhere near as good as Janath. Janath, mate, talk us through your round, and you bought in Tom Green this week for a 5. Super unlucky,
I did.
You can't complain with a 23.59, mate. Talk us through it.
You know what, mate? I saw so many teams at the start of the round have a proj of like 2550, 2600. I'm here sitting on my lonely 2300. I'm like, geez, this isn't this isn't looking too good. But there were many heroes this week. I'll get to the villains a bit later. But Luke Ryan, Nicky Dacos, Colby McKercher. I reckon this is the best hold I've ever made, if that makes any sense.
That's massive, mate. So, that is huge.
His 135 is just like it was against the Saints, but he actually looks really good again. Like it looks like the rookie that we paid up for at the start of the season. Darcy Wilson, again, another breakout player. So getting 260 points from 2 rookies, you're just like, that's just a blessing, really. And I didn't feel this man, but Jai Clark, very cheeky 78. It goes under the radar for many, but I reckon that's going to kickstart some cash gen. Danger's out for a while. So they were the heroes. And I did end up VCing Gorn into Bond. So I was a bit lucky that Sexton didn't play, because he would have, if he played, if he was a late, and he was screwed up a lot with Darcy Wilson emergency. But yeah, it was lucky enough that Sexton didn't play. So I VC'd Gorn into the Bont. It was Bont to Sarong. It was very minimal in the end. But yeah, unlike yourself, unlucky spills, because when Gorney kicked that goal in the 4th, I thought he was going to score 120 for all money and give me a really awkward VC score, but he just didn't get there. In terms of the villains, dodged a lot of carnage. I'll just say this. Didn't have Zach Williams. Mate. Didn't have Elliot Yo. Didn't have Nat 5. Oh, I'm missing some more, but... Can
I just touch on something with Zach Williams? People are going to come after me.
You went the early bird. I was at the game. What are you doing?
Did I put the wood on this bloke? If you've ever seen it, I was like,
he was going backwards as well.
Like the Zach Williams whole club at halftime. He was on 68. I remember it. He was on 68, I reckon, at halftime. Like Zach Williams whole club, like with the hand up emoji. Everyone's getting like, oh, you're going early on him, and then a few people retweeted at the end of the game where he scored -6 in the second half because he got subbed out with a hamstring. And did I cop it on Twitter? It was one of those ones where, like, usually it doesn't feel good copping it, but I'm happy to cop that. I deserve every bit of fire that came at me. Oh, what have I done, Janath?
You
What a-
you know
what a
what,
howler.
Spills? I was at the game and I liked it. I'm like, oh geez, you fully mozzed Zach Williams. He's gonna do something. And we just didn't know
Done.
what it was gonna be, but he did something. And you know what? It was the end of the third quarter and he came to the bench to start the fourth and he was with the trainers. I'm like, oh, here we go. What is it? Glute? Let's put some odds on. Well, glute, groin, hammy,
Yeah.
calf. It's probably done something and wouldn't you know, he's got a glute, but he may be fit to play this week. So
glute,
that's the
yeah.
second time he's been subbed out now. And he might be right to play the following week. So we'll see. But yeah, Tom Green. Oh gosh, when we get to my rant,
Can't
I'm going to
script it
replace
though.
Diaz rant here. But
Yep.
he's going to cop it. He'll cop it.
I look forward to that, Janath. That'll be
And yeah,
that'll
so
be interesting.
everything sort of came up Millhouse this week. Spills up to 748th overall, and nothing to write home about at this stage of the season. But yeah, we'll see. We'll obviously see how we go. We'll talk about trades a bit later. Well, Spills, do we just want to very quickly touch on this? You're coming. You'll come.
Look, yeah.
But yeah, just narrowly.
Where's it going wrong for you,
narrowly
Janath? What's going on? I mean, had such a great finish to last year. I've got to get it going. What are we doing? I just want to.
Well,
just got to respond.
Spills, if you just want to look at something, it's 156 points between DR and I, and that's what 1.5K, and it's only 230 points between you and DR, and that's what 6K difference. So the gaps are so minute. It just takes one good cap score, missing one piece of carnage. You'll be right back in a May. I've got no doubt about that.
Yeah.
In terms of my rant, now I didn't actually see this game because I was at my sister's place, but gosh, this is terrible. 5, and you know what? I'm sort of a bit immune to this because of what Callum Mills did last year. He also got subbed out in 5. But come on, you've got to be kidding me, right? Like you trade in a bloke and you're like, oh, so I traded out Marshall and Cadman for Green and Garcia because I already had Sweet at R3. So I'm like, all right, we'll do the smart move. Take the 74 smart move in inverted commas. Put him on, get him on at R2, swing Livingston down. I'm like, all right, Marshall can go 100, but as long as Green outscores Garcia, Cadman by 30, we're looking home and hose. This is a positive trade. Obviously, Sweet does the 74, and here he is, Tom Green, 5. And I'm like, why is he not moving? Like his score's not moving. He's not on the bench or anything. And then you go on Fan Footy, and the Band-Aid symbol comes on, and you're like, oh goodness, no. What has he done to himself? And all the Twitter groups and all the Twitter DMs and everything, it's like, Tom Green's injured. It's like, Mayday, Mayday. And gosh, it's just bad. At that point, I'm like, this season can just get in the bin. Not knowing that what else was to come in the weekend was going to be very favorable. But at that point in time, you're just thinking about that game. And you're like, Grundy's going off his head as well. So it's like the Grundy to Marshall trade 2 weeks ago, which led to this trade. It's looking terrible as well. And then Cadman at the time, I think he had a 50-point quarter or something. And so literally everything about this trade...
that absolutely rattled me, mate. Like, hated that. Because I was hoping that... I was looking for a 90 so I could actually put Dogger at R2 and then bank that... Like Cadman score of a Sweet as a point of difference. Didn't happen, but I was barracking for it.
Oh, jeez.
So I know the feeling.
You just have some of these rookies that just stop. They just stop playing. And that's why we're so fortunate having guys like for me, having a Kirch, having a Wilson, these guys that just, they go on with the job. They get the job done rather than starting on a 50 or 40 and then just petering out sort of thing. But yeah, mini rant. Probably not as good as Diaz, but yeah, just a quick swipe at Tommy Green. Now, you're a good man, Tommy, because if you're a test to play this week against Spills' Bombers, I reckon you're in for a big one. But yeah, just please, none of this injury stuff, mate. I got you in for a reason. I don't want your annual injury coming this early, okay?
Yeah, it's hard because you've just jumped on him where. A lot of the owners have had him since day dot. You know, we had that 150 plus last week. He's done such a great job. Bit of rough form. coming off. But yeah, this is just super unlucky, and you can't script it, mate. Like Mills last year, Green this year. I mean,
Oh, jeez.
but you
That's the
still
annual
dominated.
5-pointer.
Yeah, that's your least favorite number, I guarantee you. I mean,
5.
yeah, number 5, mate. That's the devil's number for Janath. So yeah, that's
my
very
devil's
stiff,
number.
mate. But I hope Green gets up. I very rarely miss an episode of the Green Machine on Spotify. So yeah, and that's with what's his? I rarely miss an episode. I can't
Oh,
remember his co-host,
oh,
but the social media guy from the GWS. It's so funny. It's a great
yeah.
potty. So highly recommend tuning into that. But Janet, we got some rookies to talk about. There's not really
We do.
many, to be honest.
Yeah.
There's one particular elephant in the room on the bubble that I think 90% are going to bring in. But what can you tell us, mate, about this week's rookies? And we got Sullivan and Darcy Jones. He's the big one. But what are you thinking, man?
Oh, I think if you're looking for a rookie, Jones is the easier option. He's probably got good job security. Harvey Thomas was the one that was dropped. Well, pushed to the sub. Instead of Jones when Toby Green and Brent Daniels came back in, which is promising signs for Jones' job security. I think he's just going to be a good rookie going forward. My one concern with him is that you're only going to get 3 more cash rises before his buy, and so he's probably not one that you cash out at his buy. You probably hold him through, which may serve you well because some of the tougher buys are the ones that are coming up after that. So it may just be good to have a fresh body like Darcy Jones in round 14 and 15 particularly. Harvey Harrison is the other one, and I think against Carlton he only had 11 disposals, but he did get up to 80, which is
great effort, that, isn't it?
Which is really good effort. West Coast this week, Adelaide next week, and then Bulldogs in a couple of weeks' time. Was the sub last week in round 7 Anzac Day, 83. He's an elevator price, and that's what I don't like about him, 180K. So it's a bit risky to just go there because you'd like, why pay up for Harrison when you can get a guy averaging the same or almost better, Darcy Jones, for 60K cheaper. And so I think that's the real one there. And Cooper Simpson is a bit disappointing. So I was thinking, all right, you're playing Richmond at the G, open ground. You should really perform well. Only scored 17 in a full game, and that was really offsetting. I was
that's concerning. Yeah,
that is concerning. It's like his cash gen, his first score is going to go, and he was the sub in that game anyway. But it's not like he had poor time on ground or anything. He did have the third lowest time on ground. Below, just above Frederick, but he still had 72% time on ground. Should be getting more than 5 touches if you want to stay in the team. And I think he is probably not the best rookie. But do you feel, Spills, that maybe Simpson's one of those types where we're looking at it this way, and then he just puts out a spike 90 score or something? Like he does seem like the type that could do that, and sort of burn coaches. I just think that Jones is the better pick. There is one other one that I'll just bring up very quickly, and that's Tyler Sonsi. So Sonsi was quite impressive against Freo. Now he's elevated price because he's technically not a bubble rookie. 193.8K, -6 break even. This is actually his he had his 4th game on the weekend. 81 against Freo. Looks to have taken Hopper's role. And in terms of centre bounce, I'm just bringing up the data right now. He had, where is it? He had 38% CBA, so he had a good chunk of CBAs. And I think in that role, it's pretty obvious to any sort of footy observer that Sonsi isn't a half forward. He's a midfielder. He should be played in the midfield. So if you were to rank them very quickly, Spills, the ones that are on the bubble or technically on the bubble, Jones, Simpson, Harrison, Sonsi, which order would you go in, mate? They're all forward eligible as well.
What about, so we're ruling out Sullivan because he's not on the bubble?
I'll get to them. Yes. So we got Sullivan and Bruce Revel. They're not on the bubble, so they're probably next week's rookies. I just don't because we got these options. It's sort of hard to justify bringing in someone a week early because you need someone next week. We had this discussion a while back as well.
Yeah. So what was the order again? Janath, who we have?
Rank Darcy Jones from GWS, Coop Simpson, Fremantle, Harvey Harrison, Collingwood, and Tyler Sonsie, Richmond.
So Jones number 1, and by quite a long way. We've seen it.
Agreed.
We've seen it 2 weeks in a row, and we love this. But he's become a bit of a cult figure with that helmet, and he was on the green machine, and they love him. They get around him, so he's the obvious one. Oh, it's just a bit left field. I'm going to say Sonsie, but I wouldn't pay up for him. That's the thing, unless you got the money. But the carnage at Richmond, I mean, the mid-minutes are going to go up. The opportunity is going to go up. He's got elite job security, particularly short term. So I do like him, but I'm just not short term. That's the key. That's the key word here, short term. So, and then probably Harvey Harrison. I do like the idea of an 80 off 11 touches. I love the efficiency, but clearly, yes, like Sonsie, elevated price, but Sonsie's not a sub risk. Harvey Harrison is, so that's the only reason I have. Yeah. So, splitting hairs there, but that sub risk, you got to take that into account. And then Simpson, look, I do think he's got a spike game in him. It reminds me a lot of Windsor. I mean, just didn't see it at all until this week. And then Caleb Windsor tons up easily the first time ever.
Massive,
absolutely dominated. So kudos to the owners that stuck that with him. But I think you're going to get a lot of that with Cooper Simpson. Just there'll be weeks where he subs. There'll be weeks where he has 5 touches and no score and does bugger all. But you might get a spike game out of him. You might get a 70 or an 80 once in a blue moon. But in terms of rookie cash gen, I just don't think it's a real sustainable brand of scoring to have on your bench. So I'm more than comfortable going Darcy Jones this week, man. Even though the role is just as grim, he's got 2 70s in his system, and he's got a good tank as well. Super quick, so that's going to get you through games. What about yourself, mate? Would you change anything about that order, or are you happy with that?
I like it, mate. I do, and Jones one pretty obvious just with the price. Like if Sonsie and Jones were the same price, there may be a consideration to go Sonsie, just because he's got the better role. But at that price, you just bring him in, you lock him in. It's not like Sonsie has DPP or anything to sort of give you that upper hand. Harrison, sorry, it was 13 touches, not 11, but basically the same thing in terms of he had about 7 points per touch, which is pretty impressive.
That's good.
Mind. And then Simpson at the end there. The other reason I didn't bring up Sullivan, Lachlan Sullivan and Bruce Revel, is that one thing with Sullivan that I really want to know is he had CBAs on the weekend, 32%. For the score of 75. But with DeGoey back next week, Mitchell, they're both 1 week away. It's just very hard to sort of forecast what that Collingwood team is going to look like this week, let alone next week. And so, probably just wait till next week. And with Collingwood, I'm pretty sure they play early next round. Anyway, so they play on the Saturday 1:45 against Adelaide. So
is this next round or this
next
week?
Round, next week, next week, not this week. So that's when Goey and Mitchell are back, and Sullivan is on his bubble. You presume if he plays this week. You just get a free look to see if he's the sub. Where is he named on field? What his is DeGoey back? You get a whole range of factors, and that's really important, especially at a 102k mid-only rookie. Mid-only being you can't move them anywhere. So if you get a 102k rookie just plonked on your midfield bench, playing for a good team who plays Thursday and Friday night games, you can't even use them as a loop. And so it's just one of those things where it's very scary. I just hold off. And then Revel's got the Bruce Revel cult figure. He's got the Bruce chant going around at the Gabba. 59 on debut. He looked really good. He was playing sort of pseudo halfback wing role. Looked really good. And with the injuries to Noah Answorth this week, with concussion, and then also the reshuffle around the other injuries with Brandon Starcevich, I reckon he could get an extended run in this Brisbane team. So another one to look at. And again, if you hold off to next week, you can make the decision between Sullivan and Revel, which is a good position to be in. Anything else you want to add there? The rookies guru spills?
Yeah, on Rebel, you definitely want a spike game out of him this week. If he scores another 60, he's probably someone I'm more than happy to overlook because of that short-term job security where if for some reason he comes out and scores an 80 or a 90, I'd probably jump on just for that quick cash hit. And then when he does get dropped, he's made 100K. So
Yeah.
I don't mind that idea. But look, yeah, someone I'm pretty happy to bypass. We'll assess that next week. I think we covered that really well, Janath.
Just one other thing
Yep.
with that, Spills, because they're both 102K, we'll basically be able to compare them straight up next week.
Together,
Revel's got that DPP, Sullivan doesn't. Sullivan has a better role, perhaps, than Revel, so we'll get another week of data to reassess next week, which is why I reckon everyone should just be looking at, if you're bringing in a rookie this week, it should be Jones. If you've got the cash, you could consider Sonsi and Harrison as well.
And depending on which line they're in, what team they play for, all depends on their biases too, Janath. And I think that's something we really need to take into consideration. How about, just real quickly, we go through the buys that are coming up. It's gone so quick this season. It's coming up before we even know it.
Rounds.
3 rounds. Wow, that's
3 rounds. Yeah.
That's really crept up on me. I can kick us off. So what I reckon we should do is go through how many buy players we have premium-wise only. This is the key word here. Premium, no rookies, because the only rookie we can really count is Harley Reid, because you could probably argue the case is F6. Oh, mate, come on. Give us a spell. Oh, I don't want to hear about it. That's a cheap one at me because, didn't we all trade him out after he made 50K?
You can bring him back in if you want. 305K or 309K. He's not the worst idea.
I've thought about it, but I just don't think he's worth a boost. So, I'd have to boost him in, unfortunately. Yeah. So it's probably one I miss out on. Are you counting McKercher, Janath, in your back line?
No, he is not. He is not one of my primos I'm counting, but he's in the same reign as Harley Reid. They both have ceiling scores in them, good roles, playing for teams that really need shining lights sort of thing. So I think, they're probably.
I think because Reid's in the forward line, he's more of a keeper because it's so bleak down there. So only premiums that you've got so far, and Harley Reid. So in round 12, I have 3 players with the buy. So pretty good, all in all. That's not a bad result. What about yourself, mate?
Who are they? Just spitball.
Oh, I'd have to go back and have a look.
I'll go with mine. So I've got 4. So I've got 2 defenders in Luke Ryan and Harry Sheasel, and 2 midfielders in Sarong and Davies Uniacke. So the rucks and the forwards are unbothered at the moment in round 12.
Round 12, yeah. So I've got Sheasel, Green, and Heaney in that round 12 buy. So
sorry, I forgot Heaney. I forgot Heaney. Why did I say Sarong? Sorry.
You forgot the blonde prince, mate.
Ryan?
And that's Ryan,
What am I talking about? I'm looking at the wrong buys. Okay. Let's reset.
That's all right, mate.
Let's
reset that one. Yep.
Yeah. Sheasel, Green. That's the one. I'm like, Luke Ryan doesn't have that buy. Sheasel, Green, Davies, Uniacke, and Heaney. So 1 defender, 2 mids, and 1 forward. Yes, that makes so much more sense.
So that's one thing the viewers can take out of it. Even the professor makes a mistake on the odd occasion. So he's human, if you're wondering.
That is not self-proclaimed. That is just for the viewers out there as well. So it's Brisbane, Giants, North, and Sydney that have the first buy. That's the round 12 buy in 3 weeks. Bill, so you've got, who'd you say, Heaney, Green, and Sheasel? Yeah,
so only 3 and 1 in each line. So I am perfectly safe. I'm in a good spot there. Cool. Round 13,
just a very quick one, Spills. I just want to mention which line do you reckon will struggle the most? I reckon in terms of this buy, I think it's the mids. So we got Dunkley, Neil, we got Tom Green, we got Davies Uniacke, we've got Errol Goulden, Isaac Heaney in the mids, or I guess Heaney's a forward. But so it's probably looking like the mids. So if you're looking for a midfielder, probably avoid that round 12 buy unless you don't have some of those names that we've just mentioned there.
I'm pretty all in for round 12, to be honest, even in the midfield, because round 14 is where it really turns south. But we'll get to that. But round 13, I'm looking at 4 buy players, Janath, which is a little bit more, but very similar to round 12 they are in different lines. So
Mhm.
Ryan in defence, he's the only
Yep.
one. So we're really
Cool.
clear there. Sarong and Butters in the midfield. So that's probably the worst of them all. But yeah, got good cover in Wilson, bit of DPP as well on the forward line that can come up and help.
Awesome.
You know, you get Garcia in the forward line. You bring Harley Reid back in there. So
Nice.
like we're in a really good position with that.
Sweet.
And then yeah, obviously Luke Jackson as well. And
Yep.
we could probably, I know he's technically a rookie, but you could probably count Sweet as well in that bracket because he is your R2. So you're gonna fade. You're gonna get a donut there. So
I'll be trading at the bye. That was always the
yeah,
plan. So
yeah, I think that's a good
moving
idea.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it just depends which. If it times up right with if it lines up right with English, just make that move at the bye. But like you, I've got 4 primos as well, Brian and Houston. So I've got Houston. So it's
that hurts a bit more because of the cover. Like
they're on the same line, but because we've got Closey and Graham and those types, it sort of does make it easy. I just need to unlock a defensive mid loop but a defensive midfielder. That's something that I'm sort of eyeing off in the coming weeks is how to get Closey into the defense. So that cover is available in that buy round. Then, like you, mate, Sarong and Butters, but no Jackson. So that's something that I haven't had from the start of the season.
Yeah.
So no Jackson, which is looking okay. I think other players in that buy that are sort of off relevance to Hayden Young. I know some people have got Ryan, Houston, and Young, so that might be a bit challenging. Some have Jordan Clark, but not many. Connor Rosé owners probably it's probably time to move on given hamstring injury, 2 weeks, extra trades. It's just a tough one because you just don't want to see a player like that go out there. He was never going to be 100%. I just don't know why they put him out there. It was just an odd decision.
Interesting. At least they put their hand up and said it was the wrong call. But
yeah, that's
look,
it. But
I like the
done that.
ability, but it's a different. It's really like the fitness testing. It can be misinterpreted because once you get that match intensity, I know myself from playing as well. You can train as good as you want, but once you get into a game day situation, that white line fever cracks in. I mean, you don't even think about it. So it is unfortunate, but Rosie owners rip, very, very, very bad. But we might be able to pick him up very cheap after the buy. Who knows? But round 14. The worst of them all for me, anyway. I have 6 players with a buy,
6,
and I have 6. And 2 of them are in the midfield, and it's probably
that's not bad.
Well, it's 3 of them are in the midfield. I haven't. This is my team before trades this week, so I'm going to reveal it now. Oliver's coming in. I think he has to. He's at such a good price. We'll talk about that later on. So
same for me, mate.
7. I have 7 with the buy, and 3 of them are which are in the midfield. So I'm going to cop it like Merritt, Rao. Merritt's a pod. I mean, Rao's a semi-pod. Oliver's a popular one. So I've got them both, and but there'll be a few out there as well for every Anderson owner. So I don't think it's going to be too bad.
That's it.
So defense is fine. Only Nick Martin. So I think we'll be fine with that one. A bit annoying though because Zach Reed is my cover and Toby Pink rip. So probably going to get a donut there. You'd think he made money. He made money, Janath. He had a 6 break even. He scored 9. So
look on the bright side. You take the mini wins. You take that 1K. That might be handy
when they come. Yeah, exactly right. And look, obviously Max Gorn, we're all going to cop that, and then Flanders and Reed, we should all cop it. So I think I'm pretty good there. Only in the midfield is where I'm going to come undone, but I do have Wilson, Garcia, and Clark on my bench who are all playing currently. So with a bit of hope, I've got some cover to come on. So I think I should be right, mate. But we'll see how we go. What about yourself for this brutal round 14? I did.
Yeah, he's got that buy as well, though. That's the thing.
He does too. Yeah, he does too. Yeah.
So it'd be Garcia, Wilson, Darcy, those. Nah, you're good, mate. I was just making sure you're.
And then Graham and Closey have it too.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's going to be a brutal round, that one. So just to clarify for the
Mm.
listeners, so it's Carlton, Essendon, Geelong, Gold Coast, Melbourne, West Coast. I think every team there has popular players. So even next week when we're forecasting, is Tom Stewart the buy that we really think he is? I think it's something that we're going to really be contemplating. He's got a 135 break even, if I remember correctly, 132. So next week is probably the week. But I'm like, for you, Spills, you probably can't afford to go up to 8 primers. That's just too many at that point, isn't it?
Oh, I think it is, but like he's going to be 510k. Like you almost
Well,
just
it's a
take the
discussion
hit.
point for
And
next week. It's
there's a
discussion
discussion
point
for
for
next week, but I think it could be a lot worse. I think last year was worse, to be honest. That it's always round 14. Why is it round 14? I mean, it's
Always
just a horror
round
show.
14. Yeah.
Every year,
Well,
last round 14 was terrible, but
I'll go on with my one. So I've got Nick Martin in defence.
Yep.
Oliver in midfield. He's the only midfielder primo. Gorn in the ruck, and then Flanders
Wow.
and Reed in the forward. So 5 all up.
You're in a great spot.
Harley Reid is one. It's an interesting one because I'll throw this to you, Spill. So because some coach will have to go this week on Oliver because of that break even. If you could only pick one of Oliver in the midfield this week or Stewart in the defence next week because of this bye, who would you pick?
I'm going Oliver, and I'll tell you why. So limited preseason, and I don't say that lightly. Didn't have preseason at all. So clearly underdone. I think with a bit of match fitness, he's coming good. George raised a really good point. He went over all the games that he's played in each scenario. Had the finger issue as well. Over the finger issue, and he seems to be running games out a lot better than he was 3 weeks or a month ago. So the 140 for me could be a symbol that he's possibly back. That's a big call to go early, but I think he's past all that, and he did look back to his best. And with a 20 or so break even at 470k, it's too good to pass up from a guy who's dropped nearly 200k this year. So that's huge for me. And Stewart, I mean, great buy as well. Not his actual club buy, like his Supercoach buy, purchasing. I think even if he goes up a little bit, he's still going to be a good get. If you could pay, you could get him in for 510 possibly next week. But even if you waited a week or even after his buy, he might only be 540, 550, and that's even a very heavily discounted price what Stewart can do in good form. So Oliver quite comfortably, mate. What about yourself?
Yeah, I'd say Oliver as well. One of the things, they both have red flags because Oliver still he's not going above 80% time on ground, apart from round 0, which is a concern because you need to be on the ground because in his glory days, well, like even last year, he was playing 85, 90% time on ground. He's just a pig. And Stewart, he's only gone above 108 once this year. So it's not like he's lighting the world on fire and he's a discounted primo because he's had like a poor game, an injury game. He's only gone above 104 times, but he does have a 99 and a game he was 62 at halftime. So, I mean, when you look at it that way, you can see the bright side coming out. So it's going to be very interesting. But the midfield is where I think a lot of coaches will be undone in this bye round. So you got the Blue Boys, so you got Cripps and Walsh. You got the Essendon boys in Merritt, Parrish.
Pretty much everyone. Gold Coast,
Gold Coast,
you're
the
in
4
strife.
big boys. You got the 2.
I think with Oliver, you're paying.
Flanders.
Yeah. So just want to jump in here. Like I think we're just on Oliver. I think the midfields are hard. Like you don't want to have a shit M8, but I think we're paying for worst case an M9 for Oliver. And I'd love to be able to loophole him at the end of the year, like on an early Thursday night and just see what he does. Like if he's still not getting the match minutes, but you can't pass up 470 on Clayton Oliver. It's uncanny, really. I mean, but yeah, you raise a great point. The last buy is
the other thing very quickly.
Sorry, mate.
Elliot Yeo got injured on the weekend, but he's another one that I know is very popular amongst those top coaches that got on him. Like even the great Mike Hussey the cricketer who was ranked in the top 100, he has him. So Selby has him. There's a lot of good coaches that have Elliot Yeo. It's very interesting to see what you do this week because it might come down to how you attack round 14. So just keep that one in mind.
Yeah, and Elliot Yeo, thank goodness for my sake anyway that he is gone because he
lasted a long time.
Oh, hey, you've won out. You take the win. He's made 140K. You just take the cash and you run. He's done a great job. But
that's it.
So this last buy, Janath, round 15, the most friendly for myself by far. I've only got 2 premiums with this buy. Yeah, well Dacos and Bontempelli. So nice. I'm in a very good spot there. That's so good. Maybe I look towards upgrading some players with that buy just to balance it out a bit. So I think in comparison, I reckon I'm in a pretty good spot for the. We'll assess our week buy. So I think round 14 for me, but maybe that Fremantle Port buy for yourself, just because you got the 2 defenders. I think.
Well, yeah, so, you haven't let me go through my round 15 yet.
Yeah, I was just quickly going over it for myself. I was going to get back to you, mate. Just calm it down, mate. No, take us away, mate. Just calm it down.
Nah, you're good, mate. You're all good.
Take us away, mate.
Nah, you're good. Well, the thing is that this probably means that you want to be aiming to get some of these players, the round 15 players in Spills, because yes, it is a good buy, but it's the last buy. So you sort of want to get up to that full premier. Like if you get in a premier every single week, in round 15, you may get to a position where you can field 18 primos where others have rookies on their field. That's a really big advantage. But there's no point in having 20 primos sort of thing. Do you get what I mean? So it's like it's almost you're almost worth bringing in another 1 or 2 of these buy players like an English, eventually Sinclair.
Yeah, of course, mate.
I don't know, but there's players. So we got Adelaide, Collingwood, Hawthorn, Richmond, St Kilda, Bulldogs. I've got 4.
Dawson,
so I've got Dacos and Bont, like yours.
Steele.
Yep. Steele is one that I've got. I'm going to bring in this is going to reveal some trades, but Dylan Moore this week. And that's a good insight because we were talking about round 14 being the buy that hurts for the mids. Round 15 is the one for the forwards because 4 of the popular forwards in Dylan Moore, Jack McRae, Isaac Rankin, and Shea Bolton all have that buy.
Got none of them, so
we got none of them, but it's very popular. Those are some of the popular forwards floating around. So it's very.
There's just nothing else.
There is. That's it.
It's tough because there's nothing available. That's why I've kept Luke Jackson all this time. I mean, he's not scoring very well, but who else you got there? I mean,
that's it.
It's just whatever.
Some that have Dusty. Even it's bare bones. Very bare bones.
That's it. But I'm glad that we assess the buys because it's a topic that we don't dive into enough. We'll keep chatting about that as the season progresses. 47 minutes in, Janath. How about we dabble into a bit of mailbag?
We'll go into the mailbag. Let's do it.
I think I underestimated this mailbag. When I checked last, we had about six of them in there. I don't know how many we have now, but let's jump straight through.
Sorry, just bear. Oh, sorry. What am I doing?
Yeah, quickly have a look, mate.
You can just dabble. I'm just going to get this up. Here we go.
So awesome. We'll try to get to most of them. If they're sort of a bit more team dependent, we can always DM because they're the ones we spend the most time on.
Can you see that, mate? All good. Perfect.
I can't see that, Janath, unfortunately.
You can't? You should.
No.
I can see. All right, I'll say from my end then. I know what's happening. No, I'll say from my end then. So we've got the first question from Logan Jennings. Says, hey, lads. Yeah, you got it? Cool.
Yeah, I got it now. Hey, so,
hey, lads. First off, much love to Dia and hope he is going all right. Thank you, Logan. Who's best to bring in this week? Take into account round 14 by currently a Walsh, Merritt, Rao, Flanders, Martin, Oliver, McGovern. Jeez.
You're done.
We'll aim to flip 1 to 2. Options are Dale, Parrish, Moore. So that's Dylan Moore and Track. Okay, so we can straight away rule out Parrish and Track. You cannot bring in another round 14 by player. That's just torture at that point, Logan. So I wouldn't be going there. Spills, who would you recommend out of the other two there? Dale versus Dylan Moore.
Oh, I like Dale Moore as a pick. Like more, excuse the pun,
Yeah.
a lot more as that forward availability. So I would go more just because, like, he's clearly going to be a top 6 forward and at such a great price. Very, very durable as well. So I like him. And do we trust Bevo? I don't. I want him to get sacked so bad. That could have been another rant in itself. I love Sam Draper. What a beast. Just probably the worst thing to say as a player. That is the worst.
So
I don't know. Why did he say that? But no one's disagreeing with him. I think people are just a bit rattled because a player's speaking the truth. So
you can't say that,
maybe
but it's the truth.
It is. No one's disagreeing with him. But yeah, on that one, Logan, I do like more, just a little bit better, if I'm being honest.
I'd agree with you, Spills. I do like more a bit better. But one of the things that I think is going to happen, and this is a really sad thing, and we sort of do want to touch on it, Spills, in sort of not in like a boastful way or anything, but the move on Libba, in hindsight, was 100% correct. To get Butters in, but it's not the way it's not the way you envisioned that move to go down. The Libba would get concussed twice. He gets suspended. This may have been the last game that he's played for his career. We're not hoping that, but they're just the signs of it. 4 concussions in 12 months. It's just not good.
It's very sad to see that. I was rattled when I saw the 150 against Geelong. So, but then again, it's more than just Supercoach at the end of the day.
It's more than just
a game.
Supercoach.
A bloke that, like, if there's anyone you want to play, you want in your team, like whether you, I'm going to list 2 players that if like you hate them but you want them in your team, Braden Maynard and Tom Liberatore.
Oh, you're going to say that.
So no one like people bag Maynard, but like if you copped a hit, like Libba as well, if you copped a hit, first blokes to come over and back you up. What I love about Libba as well, we'll just go on a bit of a Libba tangent real quickly.
Yeah, I
because
we
probably won't see him play. We probably won't see him
play for
again.
a while,
It's a big call, but a while anyway. When Bont gets tagged, he actually goes to Bont's tagger and tags the tagger. Like he blocks him and go like get off him. Like he looks after his mates. So yeah. Kudos to Libba. Great player.
Yeah. The reason I brought that up, Spills, is that it's really clear to see that Libba, Ed Richards, and Bailey Dale are interconnected. So when Libba is out, Ed Richards is the one that goes into the midfield. It hasn't been an increase in uptick for Jack McRae, but Richards goes into the midfield, takes Libba's CBAs, Bailey Dale becomes the exclusive halfback. And so this, I think, if Libba's out long-term, Bailey Dale's prospects become a lot better. And he was picking it up on the weekend. He was calling for everything in the middle of the ground and really being that outlet kick he's a really good kick as well.
Yeah.
The roll's really good.
It's so good.
I just worry though that he still may fall just below those other mere defenders we were talking about last week. I mean, your Luke Ryan, Dacos, Sheasel, even though his role's a bit at the moment. Houston, Martin. It's just very tough to justify. But Bailey Dale is really good. I just think that Dylan Moore is probably going to be a top 3 to 4 forward in his line at the moment. Thanks, Logan.
That was the point. I was getting at. But good stuff. The Duke, another regular. How are you, buddy?
The Duke.
Yeah.
Wishing you, hey DR, wishing you all the best. Hope things start improving in and out of Supercoach. Oh, thanks to the Duke. What do you think of these trades? Pretty happy, TBH. Do you like the McKercher selection? So he's bringing in 2 Melbourne boys. Oliver, Petrarca, McKercher for Roberts, Yo, Darcy. Very quick yes or no. Spills?
I don't like Petrarca yet. If you're going to get Truck, you wait at least 2 weeks. At least, I mean, he's got 90s in his system now. He's going to be sub 5. What's he now? I can barely read that. 551.
Yeah, it's probably going to be
I think
530.
Yeah, so I would want to wait. He's getting tagged all the time, and they have the buy together. How many have you got? Merritt? Have you got Rao? What's the story? So I would save your boost, and I like the idea of grabbing a McKercher and Oliver, but I would not boost for Petrarca probably. If you did, I know also has that buy, but like Stewart in a different line, I think you could get away with that, but certainly not Track and Oliver. What do you reckon, Janath?
I love the McKercher selection, and it's like how we did with Nick Martin earlier this year. Is you swallow your pride to bring in a player back in, you trade it out. But McKercher, just the role looks so good. Sackfisher could get dropped any week, but you're not dropping McKercher from this role when he's playing this good. We've seen in the last couple of years, Dacos from halfback rookie year, Sheasel halfback rookie. I think this is the same pattern we're going to see with McKercher in the back end of the season as well. So the Duke, we really like the trades. We're just not sold on the Petrarch one. And yes, he could come out firing, but yeah,
high break even.
High break even, probably wait a week, and also check out your buy situation, because bringing in Oliver and Petrarca means you probably don't have a Gold Coast mid, which is also something you may want to consider instead with their favourable fixture run to come.
Yeah.
All right. Engo. G'day, legends. D, I hope you're okay, mate. So this is just the brilliant community we have here. Every message is sort of coming out. That's it. Keep on soldiering. Much love. Thank you, Engo. Powell or Roberts, if you had to trade one this week? I'll just start this off very quickly by saying I got Tom Powell, and one of the reasons for this is that Matty Roberts has a favourable fixture this week. It's just so... Spills, tell me this, right? In the first 2 weeks before we brought in Tom Powell, you're like, this guy's a ball magnet. Like, he loves the ball. And then as soon as we're watching now, he's so passive. He just
felt good training him last week, Janath.
What's
felt
that?
really good. Felt good training him last week.
That's it. So if you in this position, Spills, where would you go?
Powell easy. So Roberts high break even, but look, McKercher, like you just said, mate, you can reset it. I mean, what's stopping Roberts from scoring
he's a good player. Yeah.
290s in a row would get his break even down. Could even max out around 450. So I don't mind the idea of holding Roberts. Quick preview here. I am holding Roberts. So Powell easily. Yeah, so I like Roberts. Great on field as well. Can probably outscore Powell. So
just a very quick one as well, Spill. So in terms of comparing the positions, so courtesy of DFS Australia, so general defenders and or designated kickers. So general defenders, 61% of general defenders in the last 5 games have exceeded their average when playing Fremantle, who is Sydney's opponent. And also 59% of designated kickers, which is the sort of the roles that Roberts sort of takes up. So that's at Optus Stadium as well. In comparison, when you compare it with the Gold Coast inside midfielders, for inside midfielders, only 37% of inside mid, so that's Tom Powell's role, have exceeded their season average when playing Gold Coast midfield. Playing at TIO, Gold Coast probably going to come back. For those reasons, I think the matchup gives you enough evidence to back in Roberts, and also, and I think Dylan Moore sort of solidified himself as one of the forwards you want to target. It's probably the cheapest you'll get him for a couple of weeks now as well, with a pretty good buy, all things considered.
I'll tell you what, for those watching as well, this is why we recruited Janath on this potty. What a great stat to have. I mean, I never would have considered that. So yeah, you summed that up really nicely, mate. I like that.
Mate.
I like that stat, but yeah, Roberts for me, I love holding him.
Well, no, not Roberts. You don't want to trade out Roberts. You want to hold Roberts, right?
That's what I mean. Yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
he's the one that
is Powell. Yeah.
Yeah. Easily get rid of him, mate.
Easily.
Never look back.
Get rid of him. I'm getting rid of him. All right. Supercoach Insider. Oh, Benny. Thank you so much, mate.
Legend.
DR is very grateful for your thought there. So thank you very much. Supercoach Crazy. Also, when Pay comes in, I reckon there's a question here from you, mate. We'll get to it. Also, when Pay comes in tomorrow, I'll be purchasing the Swordplay beanie. They look wicked. Thank you very much, mate. Make sure everyone that's bought a beanie, make sure to send us a picture or tag us in a photo on X.
Make sure you do.
You'll be on the Wall of Fame next week in next week's episode. Hall of Fame, Wall of Fame, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever it is. Yeah.
Whatever it is.
Wall of Fame, Janath. That was my
Wall
bad.
of Fame. That's the one. That's the one, mate.
Wall of
Angry
Fame,
Chihuahua.
not Hall of Fame.
Oh, well, they all belong in the Hall of Fame. They're all legends.
DR's the Hall of Fame, mate. DR and George, Hall of Famers.
George, your boy. DR,
Shorty.
wishing you a fast recovery and hoping to see you back on the podcast next week. So the Spills and I, what is a good boost strategy? Got one boost left and it's round 9. Use it or hold on.
Hold it.
I reckon, it's a tough one, Spills, because you got 3 weeks. In 3 weeks, we'll get 3 trades. So it depends on what you're boosting for, right? If you're bringing in 2 primos and Darcy Jones, for instance, I'd do it. Because if you can get ahead of the upgrade cadence, that's good. But also, it's very team dependent. What if it's an injury that you need a boost for? So what if you've got Elliot Yo and you're boosting at Yo to get someone in? So it's basically 1 up, 1 down, 1 sideways. Would you do that?
That's what they're there for. Like, I'm not doing it this week because I have $200 in the bank from Rao, so I can't get to anyone. So I've just got to go 1 up, 1 down. So my hands are tied. I can't boost. But for many other sides that are in that situation, look, they are there for a reason and they're there to be used. So, like, I think boosts are a bit overrated. They're there for those. They're there for you can still upgrade when you get an injury at the same time. So if it gets you the players you want, go for it.
So basically, TLDR here is if you're going 2 up, 1 down, definitely use it. 1 up, 1 down, 1 sideways. Consider the situation, consider the buys. But if you're going 1 up, 2 down, don't use it. I reckon that's basically the premise of what we're talking about here.
With that.
All right. Next one from the ladies' man, Corey Blackledge. I've always wanted to say that actually. Thoughts?
You never have.
DR's always one that's saying the ladies' man.
Ladies' man, Blackledge.
Ladies' man, Blackledge.
Can't be stopped.
One of the longest serving members of DR's channel. So thank you very much for your support, mate.
Thank you, legend.
Nick Newman, and
your boy Janath. Tell us about him, mate.
My boy, he is not a super coach option this year. He's just one game. I can't say. And also McGovern should be back this week. So I reckon some of the rebound in pie is going to go to the big Gov dog. For Fife and Roberts, Marty Hoare and Comben for Bailey Dale and Darcy Jones. Matt Roberts and Comben for Luke Ryan and Darcy Jones. Straight away, I'm thinking get the big man in, get Luke Ryan in. Luke Ryan and Darcy Jones. Simple as that, mate.
I won't even elaborate. Number 3 easily. Ryan
I guess the other question here is: do you reckon Nat Fife comes back to playing full games again this week?
Yeah,
surely, right?
I do. That Freo were always going to manage him, but it wasn't going to be consistent. It might just be a sub here and there. So I think full games are on the cards for Fife, but it's not really that, Janath. It's the cash gen is sort of depleted. So if you want to cash him in, now's the week. But if you see him as a keeper as well, I think you can hold 2. I'm not in that. I'm not in that camp though. I do not own. So
awesome. Neither do I. So
all right,
that's it. We'll go rapid fire on a couple of these. So Daniel Penham, one of the legends of the channel, was on our appreciation podcast last year. So 2 questions. Would you go with option A, which is in the photo? So that's Ryan Oliver Jones from Roberts Horn France as Cadman. Okay. Trade in as he will make a lot of money. Or instead of trading in Oliver, trade in McKercher. Ooh. So the question here is, mate, Oliver or McKercher, who's more important this week?
Oliver.
Oh, I would say Oliver as well. Because he's sort of...
It only takes a bit of mid-time for McKercher and it's dead, where Oliver is a proven 650k premium who's hitting form finally. So,
do you feel like we need another week from Oliver? It's just that 141.
Yes, I think you can argue the case, but do you really want to miss out on... Do you want to pay an extra 30k? Like, do you want to pay 500, 510?
Okay. What if Oliver goes 60 this week? We're going to be spewing ourselves because we didn't wait a week for that 30k.
Oliver's not going 60 this week. He's not.
All right. I mean,
I think
I'm bringing him in. I don't want him to go 60. I'm just saying that in this case, you're trading out Horn Francis because the thing is, if Daniel can get McKercher instead of Oliver, who's 170k less expensive, and instead of trading out Horn Francis, trade out someone else. Horn Francis could score more than Oliver without Connor Rozee in the midfield. this week and next
That's
week.
a good point, but Horn Francis is a mid only, so it reminds me of Ollie Wines from the start of the year. Like I think Horn Francis is sort of no man's land, so he's done a good job on field, but he didn't get that forward DPP. So if you want to jump off, I think you can. Exactly the same as Ollie Wines, because you're not going to have him at M8. So I'm saying Oliver, mate. I'm not going to go in. I'm not going to overanalyze it too much, but my gut feel just says Oliver. I think Oliver can average at least 105 for now on the rest of the year, and I'd take that at 470k every day of the week. So,
Daniel, I think we're split on this one because I reckon in this run, McKercher could average 105 at 170k.
You're just biased because you held.
But he's gone 105 and 130 the last 2 weeks in this role.
He has, but I traded and I don't want anything to do with him anymore. I'm just gonna.
You're
I'm not. I know I'm never.
You're biased because you didn't have him.
I know I'm never gonna get him back unless I boost. So look, you just gotta. That's a tough one. It is a really tough question. But
it is a tough one, Daniel.
Oliver is a
honestly,
former 650k.
If you can, if you can get in. If you can get in McKercher instead of Oliver, if it means you don't have to trade out the Horn, because I really like the Hornet in these next 2 matchups, without Rosie. So, that's just me. Against the Geelong midfield, he could do nasty things. Like I'm just saying, like that is a great matchup for midfielders. All right, we'll go to
probably not a player I'd trade out this week. Like this is a bad week to trade him, which is just annoying.
That's it. That's it.
Anyway, it is what it is. Flip a coin, mate, and just get back to us with what was the better result.
That's it, mate. Supercoach crazy. Firstly, wishing you all the best with your family. Have a few questions. That cool? All right. Very quick one. We'll just go rapid fire here. Oliver, Parrish, Petrarca. Oliver in that order? I reckon in that order, honestly. What do you reckon? Petrarca, Oliver, Parrish.
Oliver by a country mile over both of them. Because Truck still got. You say you say that, but Truck's still got 2 high break evens to come. We don't know if he's top 8 really. He's getting.
You don't break Parrish?
I do, but mate, when does he ever get on the park consistently? I mean, there's still so long to go. Really want to watch. This is why, you won't like me saying this, Janath, but this is why I passed on Welsh, because do you really want to watch the rest of the year knowing that you got your Fifes and your Yos as well, who are a bit older, same sort of same reason I avoided both of those. That order is probably how I would have it, but Oliver sits very comfortably for his price tag. So, and then second one, Dale and Stewart. I like Stewart. What about you?
I like Stewart, but I
feel safer.
He feels safer, but Dale's role and his buy are both better than Stewart's, I reckon.
It is.
Is that weird to say? Like, if you want to go with the crowd, go Stewart. But if you want to overcome the expected ownership, which is an FPL term, I reckon Bailey Dale's not a bad selection. I'm more hot on him this week than I was last week. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. In comparison, Stewart's like a 123 VC, and Dale's like he could go 150, but
that's it.
He could go 70. So you're probably like, I will just go safe as houses, Stewart. You know what you're going to get. You know what output you're going to get. Like Dale, look at the first 4 weeks. I know Richard's role change, a few things, but Bevo, he loves flipping the magnets around. He's one more poor role change from getting his role back in shambles. Still, he has to be an intercept defender. He's as cheap as you'll ever see him. Why not? I like Stewart.
Why not? Cool. And the last question there, Swede is a later with no cover. Do I cop the donor? That's probably team specific, because you could really change up the trades to bring in Tim English, because English is probably at a good price again this week. If it's okay to again overcome the ego. If you thought that Sweet was going to be the R2, I'm in that same position. And if Sweet is a laid out or isn't selected, that's on the cards that English may come in as well. So you just got to adapt to the game. Spills, do you have anything to add? Are we all good to move on?
Yeah, this is where the cocky dogger owners come in, like myself as they are. You sit there, R2, son. I'm happy to field the Cattas. We'll see how we go. But yeah, you're in strife with that one. So
No.
yeah,
Everything happens for a reason. We're all
Yeah.
right. We'll be all right. Us non-Jackson owners. Silver Pigeon. Hope both Ruben and DR have a quick recovery. Thank you, mate.
Me too,
Never
mate.
good when the young ones are crook. Oh, it's the worst. It's the worst. I've got nephews and a godson as well that when they're crook, you just feel so bad about it. After GC poo performance, any chance?
I love the PG reference here.
Yeah.
He could have said something else, but elected. Yeah, I like it.
Been holding this long, but looking to trade to Darcy. Darcy who? Darcy Wilson?
Jones, mate. Darcy Jones, surely.
Sorry, yeah. I'm like,
I was with you though.
In the AFL, though. All right, that makes sense. Look, Rory Atkins played okay. Ben Long didn't, but Ben Long isn't playing halfback. Sam Flanders got moved into the midfield in the second half. And then it was pretty bad down back. Is Will Powell and Rory Atkins. I think Dimmer will drop the Hammett selection. Sexton had 32 touches in the VFL as well, so he did put his hand up. He's done all he can, but he may just be a constable of last year. It's just a wait and see. If he's named, he's going to have a good role. He will not be playing in the forward pocket. That's what he's been playing VFL halfback all year. So if he's named, keep him. If he isn't, you could probably move on because there's probably not going to be a better chance than Dimmer to drop the hammer and bring in Sexton. So if he's not named, that's probably alarm bell saying he's probably not going to be. He's not going to play again for the Gold Coast AFL team unless there's a bulk of injuries.
Yeah, it took the words out of my mouth. I think you wait for the team sheets, and if he's not named, then I like the idea of getting rid of a dead rookie, particularly in the forward line. Our rookie coverage is great in the forward line. Cadman and Berry on the bench, so going really well there. But yeah, there's many teams that do have a Sexton there, and it is quite costly. So if you can fix that up, I think no better than Darcy Jones off 2 70s in a row.
That's it, mate. All right, we'll keep going. If McKerch had truly taken Sheasel's role, could he be a def primo? And is it worth cashing in on Sheasel now? Okay, I am a McKerch owner, and he's not going to be a def primo in my eyes because his role could change. He could be a def keeper. That's a different story because he could just average 95 for the rest of the season. You could be happy to plonk him at D6 and be okay with it. Which, if you bring him in this week, if he averages 95, you're okay with it. But yeah, I wouldn't bank on him being. I wouldn't bank on him being a premium. What do you reckon, Spills? You can't say he's going to be a primo.
No, you can't. But this is another team-based question, and I'll refer back to you, Janath, for your side with Houston and Ryan with that bye. How about a McKercher coming back for cover? I mean, that's pretty nice. So I like the idea of having him at maybe a D6. And just for that buy cover in particular, and you can always swing him late in the season once we're done with the buys. But look, when you got Zach Reed, Pink, Caulfield, I mean, Gibcus, dead rookies back there, McKerch is really valuable. I don't mind it. I wouldn't say he's a keeper, but a perfect D7 for me. M9. Yeah. So I like it.
Cool. Awesome. All right, Andrew, we'll get through a couple more questions. Sorry. G'day, legends. Hope you're recovering well, D. I'm looking at double upgrade this week. I like it already. I'm looking at Williams and Powell out, but I'm not sure who to get. Martin or Dale for defense. There are a lot of forward options. I can move Wilson to upgrade to a mid. All right, I'd go. Oh, tough one. Bailey, Dale, or Martin. Martin, just because he's not coached by Bevo. And then
you're safe with Nick Martin, I think.
That's what I'm saying. You're not
every week.
He's not good. And then in terms of midfielders, you can't go past Caleb Sarong at the moment. Sarong or Merritt, I reckon, for that midfielder. What do you reckon?
I am biased, but I'm still going to say Sarong because
Sarong. That's fine. Yeah. I thought you were going to say you're biased and you're going to say Merritt.
That's the thing. Like, I am biased, and usually I do go the Dons, but
I see.
This is how highly I think of Caleb Sarong. I genuinely reckon he's
get on board, top, mate. It's like
he's M1 just about. So
he's M2 at the moment to Heaney, but Heaney's a forward. So by that logic, Caleb Sarong's
M1.
He's the M1 by 6 points. He's 129. The next best mid is Merritt by 123. So go for Sarong, mate. Yep. Cheers. Jacob, thank you, mate, for your question. We'll love your opinions on my situation. Sarong, Merritt, and Jones in, but no bank left over. Oh, geez, I'm already all over this, mate. That is so good.
That's the best trade in history.
And not sure how we'll get F5X6. That's the problem for the
Don't
future,
worry
mate,
about
honestly.
it. Like, don't worry about that.
No one knows who the F5X6 is going to be anyway, so I wouldn't worry too much. Whereas Stewart, Oliver, Track, they've got the same buy, so already I'm seeing red flags there. Jones in, but enough bank cash to fill the team by the buys. Yeah, Jacob, look, cash will always come about, and I'm sure that you have other rookies in your team to get to something. You can get to someone in the forward line, and I reckon we're going to be in the position where we're going to have too much money by the end of the season. Spills, like, look at this, right? Compared to last year, we have so much cash, like across the board, but we have no forward primos that we trust to fill out the F4 to 6. So we're spending up in the midfield, and then we're still going to have cash left over. So I reckon it's sort of like a bird in the hand is worth two in a bush. It's an old sort of saying. You take what you know, and you just forget about what you
already.
A bird in the hand. So you already got the bird. So you've already got Sarong and Merritt. Worry about the rest later. You don't need to worry about the unknown just yet.
Yeah, I'm with you now.
Or what you don't have. So, Jacob, I reckon option 1 Spills. You agree there, mate?
Yeah, I agree, mate. Yeah, great. Yeah,
I lost
him
at the proverb.
That's crazy. Yeah, no, I never heard that before, Janath, but it makes a lot of sense.
It's a good one.
It's a great one.
The misses, mate. I use it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Oh, jeez. We'll see.
See Leighton. Hey boys, love your work and dedication. So Spills, I'll give you a good one. Would you rather a premiership this year or the possibility of 3 premierships in the next 5 years? That's a great example of that proverb.
Yep. I got
you want one this year, or do you want possibility of 3 and 5?
Oh, it's a tough one though. Like, because
I've hijacked
my team haven't won a final, so like this year the possibility like it could happen, but at least this year it had happened.
That's it. You took the bird in the hand.
You take the premiership, and
that's it.
Yeah.
Yes. Good man. All right. See Leighton. Hey boys, love your work and dedication. Thank you, mate. Following trades, Yo to Ryan. Yep, tick. That's not a sideways. That's an upgrade. That is an upgrade. Roberts to Jones. Yep, we'll take it. And D'Ambrosio to Bond. Lock it in, Eddie. You've got 3 players on 3 different buys, which is perfect. I don't own Sicily. Do you think he's a worry now with the recent shoulder dislocation time off forward? He owns Sicily. Yeah, he is a worry, but I don't think he is enough of a worry to trade out. He's got 3 back-to-back tons. Now, if he did his dislocation like Dunkley did a couple of years ago, came back on and redid it, then he's probably out for 10 weeks. So just be mindful of that. The shoulder dislocations don't just pop back in and you're okay and you're good to go for the rest of the season. So, yeah, just monitor that one, mate. Spills, anything?
No, you summed that really well. Yeah, cool. Yeah, Yoda Ryan, can't go wrong. Yeah, I like them trades.
You like them?
Yep. Cool. Never look back.
We'll get 3 more questions. If there's any questions we haven't get to, we'll obviously make some time to get to them. Luca, he's got a couple here. Sorry. Hey, Legends, thoughts on McKercher this week? I think we've already touched on it. He's got 2 boosts left. I would go Sanders to him for a boost, definitely. Also, what score from Sweet would you be fine with trading Meek? Nah, don't trade Meek this week. Sweet's probably under an injury illness cloud. He's on an illness cloud as well. And bring in more Zorko to field over forward Rook. Oh, that's actually a tough one, actually. Would you trade Lloyd Meek Spills with the 59 break even? He got to 110, but he was on about 90 at halftime. I thought he was going to go huge.
I wouldn't. It's too low break even. Why'd you pick him there in the first place for cash gen for value? You just write it out.
You know.
I like him. Yeah.
Against St Kilda, easy matchup for Ruckman. Rowan Marshall gives up a lot of hitouts. I think Meek could be in for a big one, Lucas. So hold on to him. If Sweet goes 100, then maybe consider it. But otherwise, Yeah, if he goes 100, then probably move on Meek to a Zorko or more.
That's the
probably,
thing. You get the luxury to actually loop him. So, if
you look at him.
Yeah, if you can do that, I don't see why you can go wrong.
Would you go more or Zorko? More or Zorko?
Oh, mate, Zorko played a great case, didn't he? But I think more, just a little bit safe for Janath. Gut feel. But Zorko looked great. I think.
And Zorko's got a buy in 3 weeks.
And he does have
he
a
feels
buy.
like He feels like the perfect post-buy pickup, but he's going to be so expensive by then the way he's going.
You just hope he scores shit and you get on him. But at least like Dylan Moore's only 520, which is a bargain for a Stuart Oliver almost. So, I think in the forward line more. So I would love to get more this week, but I just can't get to him because I spent all my pennies last week on Matty Rao. It's all 60. So the Ferrari sometimes.
At least you didn't pay $5.90. You got value for your pick, mate. I brought in Tom Green for $5.90. You got scored 5.
That just goes to show that even the Ferrari and the McLarens can go wrong with having an oil leak occasionally. So what can you do?
That's all right, mate. Next week, Luca again. Sorry, I got another question. Would you be fine with trading out Biggie? Jeez, Biggie's gone from hot property to the garbage pretty quickly. What's he got up? He's gone up 50K. I mean,
I haven't looked, Janath, honestly.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't trade him out, as he's my most likely forward trade. All right, so I'm in the position, Spills, where I don't need to bring in Darcy Jones this week. Is Darcy Jones a must for a boost? Would you boost for Jones? If you've got 2, I've got 2 boosts left. Would you boost for Jones?
Well, you got to go down to somebody. So
no, well, I don't have to. That's what I'm saying.
You don't have.
I don't have to have the cash banked up. Yeah, is Jones a must?
No. Well, if you don't have to downgrade, then he's only a must if you need to go down because he's the best spot of the bunch. But if you don't need,
but you're saying he's not a must-have rookie because you know how we have rookies that are must-have.
He's a bit like
a Closey. Closey was a must-have.
Closey's a must-have, but Jones is a Garcia. But Garcia,
Jones is that's which one? Hugo or Riley?
Both, mate. Like, yeah. I was thinking of Hugo, but Hugo was a good downgrade option. But you're not going to lose out if you faded him.
Yeah.
He's not a must-have, but he was just the best of the lot on that particular week, and I think that's the case with Jones this week. Like he's not a must-have, but if you had to go down, you pick him. But if you don't need to go down, you can still upgrade. Then I don't think you're going to miss out fading him or overlooking him, if that makes sense.
Too easy. All right, and we'll finish up with Simon's question here. Hey lads, didn't pull the trigger on Grundy Alpha Suite. Did Powell instead. Nice. Would you do it this week? Allows me to get Slim Shady. Slim Shady. Is that Luke Ryan because of the blonde hair? I assume
the peroxide prince, mate.
Peroxide print and a primo mid finish.
JD calls him anyway.
Grundy. Oh jeez. Or keep Grundy or just swap him for English. Jeez, lot going on here. Okay, so the first one is let's start by saying, do we trade Grundy? He's going to play Sean Darcy this week because Free are aiming for Sean Darcy to be fit from his.
What's his break even?
Grundy would have a low break even. He did pretty well on the weekend. Grundy's break even is 107, so it's not too big. It's not too small. To get to Team English, it's 20K or 30K. Sorry, that just feels so good because at the start of the season it's 240K.
I would do it. I thought the break even would be in the 80s or something, just off how he's been, Brody Grundy. So it's the same. It's the same as Yo to Ryan Janath. It's the exact same thing. So like Yo was a hot like 400s, mid 400s, gets to 600, you cash him. Like it's so people say it's a sideways trade, but you've actually made your money. Where it's the exact same thing for Grundy. 500K gets you English, who was 700. 200K difference at the start of the year. If you can get there in 20K this week, go for it.
I like it. The thing is, I wouldn't go Grundy out for Sweet this week just because Sweet's got an illness cloud. Last week was the week, 158K. He's already gone up. I think about 90K. Yeah, he's gone up 90k. Yeah. It's just last week was the week for him. If you can get Grundy, it's tough. You could go Grundy to English this week, and I wouldn't mind, mate. So sorry we're not overly helpful, but yeah, it's such a tough one, mate. Honestly, it's probably a gut decision there whether you keep Grundy, whether you go Grundy to Sweet or you just swap him to English. I think you can't go wrong either way, especially if you're bringing in Slim Shady in defense anyway. Sorry, Spills, we just got two more because they were just hidden before. This one's not a question. Brought in Green, I feel you. Had Wilson on the bench and Captain Rowell, so he's gone. Tally Beaver,
he was in my captaincy plans, Rao. I was actually going to do it, but
ended up on 21-12, which isn't too bad, I reckon. Plummeted in ranks, but there's always this week going Sheasel to Dale, Williams to McKercher. Sheasel.
I wouldn't trade Sheasel. I wouldn't trade Sheasel.
Let's have a look at the plans. So it's got Sheasel and Williams out for Dale and McKercher. Next week, we've got Powell and Campbell out for Zorka and Hayes. Powell and Campbell. So that's Seth Campbell from the Tigers. Week after Roberts to Parrish. Geez, there's a lot of sideways. I just feel this week, that Sheasel move, it could pay off, but it just could go so wrong if Sheasel goes back into defense and Fisher's
drop. You don't back against the crowd. You don't back against the crowd. Like, I've got Supercoach Gold, and he's not in there. Like, Sheasel did score pretty ordinary, but no one's trading him, and he's like 65%.
You're not, especially to Bailey Dale. It just feels like you asked so much trouble to go from Sheasel to Bevo's.
You're just asking for Bevo to double cross you. That's what you're doing. You actually emailing the Dogs department saying, "I want Bevo to absolutely slaughter me in Supercoach this week.
Slaughter me to the cross."
Dale gets tactical subbed out, and then Sheasel goes back where he belongs, and you lose out 80 points.
So you can feel what we feel about it, mate. I just don't think. I just don't think that that's the move. One very quick one, just very quickly. Jack Hayes next week at 228k. He scored 115, albeit against North, but he looked really good, and it's just great seeing him back out on the field. He had 17 touches, 6 marks, 4 tackles, 4 free kicks, 2 goals. Just played a really good game, and it looks like he was chopping out for Rowan Marshall in the ruck as well. So really looking forward to seeing him there. So that brings us sort of to the end of the mailbag. We'll just go very quickly now through our final trades and captain spills. So I'll start with you, mate. What are you looking at?
Yeah, so I already revealed it earlier on, but Williams is a really hard one because he's not ruled out, but I need his money to get me. This is what happens when you pay up for the Ferrari, is you don't have any backup cash gen to get you through. So yeah, two 300k rookies isn't going to do it for me. I can't even get Jones and Oliver with Berry and Cadman. So yeah, as you can see there, 7k in the bank, which is bugger all still. So these trades I won't be backing out of anytime soon. So yeah, Williams, Berry, Oliver, Jones, very stock standard. I'm holding Matt Roberts. I'm going to give him one more week. Yes, he could possibly drop 10 to 15k, but I just want to see if he can back it up. It was a terrible day for any small defender in that role, pissing down rain in Sydney. Yeah, it can't get worse than that. So I'm looking for a bounce back from Roberts, and it's not really the money I'm worried about. It's that M9 sort of D4 slot that I just feel so comfortable having him there. And who else are you going to field? So look, I like the idea of getting Roberts to an Uber Primo, but with my cash gen, mate, that's not going to happen. So yep, these are my trades for this week, mate. And DRs as well. I think they're pronounced exactly the same, but he's got a bit of cash gen up his sleeve.
He's going early on Darcy and Combin. So yes, they both have averages above their break evens, but I think it's very similar for me as well. You sort of don't have many rookies you want to trade out that are maxed out. So these two are probably the closest that DR has to maxing out. And that's what I've done here is I haven't sort of necessarily traded out guys. I had 200k in the bank from last week. So Roberts up to Oliver, move Graham into defense, but can swing with Closey if need be. And also Powell up to more. I just feel more safety going Dylan Moore over Tom Powell in this situation. So those are our trades. Yeah, we'll hopefully go through it. That's the one I was just thinking. is Darcy Jones a must-have? And I think you've done a pretty good job in sort of explaining why he necessarily isn't. We'll finish up with some captains then, mate. So I think the captaincy will come down to, let's say, 5 matchups, okay? So these are the ones which I'm contemplating. Max Gawn against Carlton. He went 1-9 in the preseason against the Pitternet DeConning combination, but he hasn't done necessarily well in the regular season because I think we sort of have like a matchup plan for him. We'll see how teams come out. Zach Butters against Geelong is a really interesting one. He's going to be the captain on Friday night as the vice captain to Connor Rozee. So I expect a big game from him bouncing back after the loss to Adelaide. Sarong against Sydney, brilliant form, mate. And you could also probably put Luke Ryan in that same boat. I really like the Gold Coast boys against North at TIO, especially your boy Matty Rowell. He's a captaincy candidate this week, mate, because the game, it's going to be like a bar of soap. He's probably going to be the only one that can actually handle the ball, which is pretty interesting. You got Bont. So the Bont, I'll give you some data here, mate. So in the past 3 seasons, the Bulldogs have lost 24 times. And in those 25 games, after a loss, the Bont average is 125. That was one of the reasons why I captained him on the weekend for the 142. Expect a big one against the Tigers. Yes, Libba won't play, so it's that inside Grant lost, but that's a good stat. 125 in losses after a loss. As the captain, he's going to bounce back. And then, obviously, we can't go past Wispy Dacos against West Coast. No DeGoey. The midfield is his. No Elliot Yeo. Ruben Jimby can't run with him. He's probably going to have a field day. It's just one of those picks. It feels very safe. So if you had to, who's your VCC going to be at this moment, Spills?
The worst thing about this week is my combination that I would like to play together. I would love to VC Rao for Bonampally. I just that bounce back game in the wet, and then Bont just a safe fallback. But they play together; it's impossible. So at the moment, I've got Sarong against Sydney. Just as a VC, that's what I have at the moment. And then probably Bonampally as a C, but it could well and truly be like a Rao or Bonampally VC for Dacos. This is a very tricky week. Like Gawn, Butters, don't know Brian. He's in great form, but can he back it up again? I mean, who knows how many 150 pluses has he got? So I'm bamboozled, mate. And when I'm bamboozled, I just go safe as houses and very boring. So that's the wrong for Bonampally. I don't think you can go too badly wrong. Very stock standard. What do you reckon, mate?
I reckon I'll be going Gawn into one of Bont or Dacos. We'll see how risky it's feeling. I reckon Gawn's got a big one in him. On Friday against my mob, which isn't
so great. You like Max Gawn against Carlton on the Thursday? Like, just get that one straight out of the way.
I do like that game. Max Gawn, he's just different, built different. He'll dominate Pitternet around the ground. It's going to be disgusting if they play. If Pitternet plays, it's going to be disgusting.
Max not Gawn the best average though.
It isn't, but I'm just thinking back to that preseason game and just seeing how Gawn in a meaningless game ran Pitternet ragged. It was pretty bad. It was a pretty bad watch. I'm not gonna lie. He was.
Look, I might actually follow your advice and go for that. Look at like what I did when he had Port Adelaide, and
it really is a stealing one.
That's what I was going to say. Took the words out of my mouth. I went for the Gawn VC against Port for that ceiling, and I got the 177. Yep. So I think Sarong safe as houses, but if you're looking for that ceiling, probably Gawn. So, which I am. So I think I'm going to change my mind here, Janath. I'm going to VC Max Gawn for Bonampally, I think.
Spills, can you just talk for a bit longer? I want to get your stat, but you're just gonna have to talk a bit longer if that's okay. So just ramble on. No, do your thing.
That's all right. Yeah, no, you're right. But there's plenty of good captains here. But yeah, sorry, John.
I've got it for you. No, you're good. So when Melbourne played the first game of the round, forgetting the opening round. When Melbourne played the first game of the round, so it's a 3-game sample size, Max Gawn averages 143. So they played the
That's
first game of the round
ridiculous.
3 times. Against Adelaide in round 4, against Brisbane in round 5, and against Richmond in round 7. And he's gone 129, 138, 162. I reckon he's won for the Thursday/Friday/Wednesday night lights. He's going to go a big one on Thursday.
You want to know something, Janath? I've had the VC on him in every single one of those games. I reckon.
Oh, back him in.
I have.
Yes,
And I've
you-
VC'd him
that's
against Port Adelaide. Bit scarred from the 111, but very poor time on ground at one stage.
it's
He had to chase that score.
111, you take it. You take 111.
I was pretty flat with it, but
Oh, that's all right, mate.
that,
Well, I reckon
but yeah,
I reckon that brings
I like
us to
Max
an
Gawn.
end. Brings us to an end for
Yep.
today, for this episode. You want to wrap us up?
I can wrap us up. You did a great job reading out the questions. I'm actually glad that you did because I'm
jeez,
not
a lot of
the
them.
best reader. So yeah, very, very clear cut.
That's
So
fine,
no, it was a team effort tonight, and I think we did it in DR's honor. And I think he would be proud watching us youngsters just take on the potty for him, and hopefully he's back next week. I'm sure he will be. But look, best wishes of recovery for himself, but more importantly, River. That's not what you want. As a parent, and my heart goes out to the DR family, if you will. So yeah, I'm sure everything will be okay. But yeah, Supercoach wise, I'm keen to get cracking for this week, and I think we covered everything really nicely. If there's anything else that you want to add before we wrap it up, Janath?
Nah, not at all. Again, just extending my thoughts to DR and your family, mate. We're all behind you, not just us two, but the whole community as a whole. We're going to gather around you, put your arms around you, and sending our love to all the boys, Max, River, Nash. They're just brilliant, brilliant boys. So wrapping your arms around us, mate. And thank you everyone that's already supported the website. Again, that's just www.supercoachswordplay.com, and you get 5% off your first purchase. So I saw a couple of comments about the beanies. Just
jump on.
Make sure that we sell out. We sell out. We bring them back, and you can order more. So it's just a continual cycle. Get on them. You're doing it for good cause as well.
Exactly right.
Good luck this week. Back your gut, and yeah, I say bring on a much better, more peaceful round 9.
I think we're due for some good karma because last week was absolute turmoil and carnage if we've ever seen it. So we're all going to bounce back this week. I'm holding the faith, and I think it's a good way to end the podcast. So thanks for joining me, Janath. We'll have DR back, and the three of us will unite next week. But for now, take it easy, everyone. Good luck for this week, and as always, we'll see you guys in the next episode.
Peace out, guys.